and welcome back to another full circle angling episode. Today we are over in northwest Cumbria, Silloth. We're after rays today. There might be possible outside chance of a hound, but I think it's a little bit early. The last week we've had really cold easterly northeasterlies, and I'm not so sure there'll be any, but I've got a few fresh crab with us, so we'll try. Pretty windy today. It's going to get up to about 20 from the east northeast, gusting up to about 30, so it's not going to be comfortable, but it'll be more comfortable than what it would have been had I been stood on the east coast somewhere. A little bit concerned today for two reasons. Firstly, because Gary's not here, and if there's one person that will always catch something, it's Gary, so I'm going to have to work extra hard. The secondly, because I think I might have just been caught doing 60 on a 50 road that I'm not familiar with. It's not going to make for particularly pleasant reading during the week if a letter does land, but we'll know for next time. Anyway, let's get ready, let's get down there, and we'll see if we can catch something. Conditions today are going to be pretty sunny for the day. I think it might get up to possibly 13-14 degrees. As I mentioned, we've got a stiff northeasterly. We're fishing into the Solway, so it's going to be flat. This place can be a bit of a problem weed wise. We're fishing on a neap tide today, so I'm hoping that might make a difference as well. We haven't had much rain over the past week, so the lack of fresh water coupled with a smaller tide, I'm hoping that the weed isn't going to be too much of an issue. Low water is just after 1:30, so I'm hoping to fish maybe 4.5 hours either side of low water, a couple hours each side, and hopefully we can catch something. The main hotspot round here, which I'm sure a lot of people know, is the promenade, the prom, which is a high water mark. Personally, I'm not really up for standing on a crowded promenade. I'd rather just have space fishing on the beach. So we're down on the beach. It's very windy, as you can hear. I'm not sure what the wind noise is going to be like. Hopefully it's not too bad. First cast, got a squid bait on. Tide's ebbing quite quickly, moving out that way, out of the Solway, so I'm just allowing a big bow in my mono and effectively up-tiding it, curving the top of the rod where it's sitting in the tide and the wind. So all I'm looking for really is just a drop back bite, and that'll be a good indication. First couple of casts I'm just going to fish to the clock. It's been in about 20 minutes, so be due to bring it in a second. And I'm going to alternate between squid and fresh crab, just in case there are any hounds. Weed is absolutely horrendous. First fish of the day, nice male thorny, probably about 3 pound in weight. At least there's something out there. I'm almost trying to do two things at once really. I'm trying to keep the rod tip as low as I can due to the wind, just so it's not shaking all over, but at the same time I also don't want it too low, because I want to try and minimise the amount of line that's actually in the water due to the weed. But that's why I keep creeping down into the water, so I can still keep it above the sea. So we've got half a crab in. We'll see if there's any hounds out there. This next cast, I've decided to mix it up actually. I've taken the other half crab that I had and I've just lashed a little bit of squid on next to it, so maybe best of both worlds. We've got that Chinook, nice big 5/0 Chinook, smaller 3/0 circle on the top, knotless knot, in 6-ounce sinker. I'm going to be strict with me time this time. I'm going to give that another 5 minutes and it's coming in. after that ray, had a little bit of chafing on about 10 yards of my line, so I just pulled that off, retied the leader. Let's get this crab and squid bait out. See, my line's gone quite far down tide. There might be a bit of interest, but it could just be the weed and the tide, but we'll bring it in. Yet again, weed been absolutely horrendous, but it is what it is. I've just got to persevere. Don't really want to go much further than that. I think there is a bit of a channel, a bit of a drop off. Yep, another fish, if I can get to it. Small dogfish. Get this one unhooked. As soon as that line hits the water, because the wind's taking so much line, I'm just putting my thumb on, and then the deck will just take in the extra slack, and then straight away, thereafter, once it's on the bottom, I'm more or less in the right sort of fishing position that I want. I've got a nice bow of line, good bend in the rod, and then I can just see those slack bites if the fish takes the bait. So 3 casts, 3 fish, hard work with the weed, but if you don't mind, you put up with it when there's fish biting. I'm just going to flatten that barb a bit. Do I think it's going to reduce the catch rate? My personal view, if it's got a good hook and you keep plenty of tension on the line, there shouldn't be an issue anyway. And you know what? Fish does come off, then it comes off. I've had 3 fish already. I can handle losing a fish or 2. It's not an issue really. I'd rather do minimal damage to the fish if I can. So, got a lot of slack line. We'll go and check it out. Well, hard work. Another absolutely beautifully marked male thorny. There's such a curve in the end of that rod that when you get a knock, it virtually goes straight, and it's a dead certain indication that a fish has picked it up and has ran with the bait. I'm hoping we've got about another hour and a quarter until low water. Hoping as we approach low, the weed eases off. That's prime. That hairline crack, his shell is going to come straight off. Cut him in 2. I'll use the legs as well. A good test to see if the crab's ready. The claws crack like that. That's always a good sign. If they're rock hard and the crab's really aggressive, he's not ready yet. Prime, perfect crab bait. Instead of binding it hard, don't bind it as tight, but just put a little bit more elastic on. Then the quicker your bait's going to wash out on the seabed, so we just put a little bit more elastic on. That's not particularly tight there at all. Bait, chinook that we used before with the barb off. So all I'm doing, a little sausage of crab, and that'll just thread perfectly on there. Pull top over the knot. So I've got this other rig baited up and ready to go with the other half of that crab. Same system, knotless knot, chino on the top. Slight variation because there's a red splash down on this one. The other one's got an imp on. 6-ounce sinker, 2.5 foot pulley with a little pulley mechanism at the top, or double pattern as it's known. So if the hounds do come through, I can get one in, unclip and get it straight back out there, because the window of opportunity might only be narrow, so I'll be ready for them if they do come. I don't think there are any, but you never know. You got to try, haven't you? Well, finally I might get a chance to have something to eat. Tide's definitely starting to turn now. I think we're probably just about slack water. the sea's settled off a little bit, the wind's eased, so the sea's flattened a bit. I'm going to enjoy this sawney and keep an eye on that rod tip. Just had quite a positive bite there. I think we might have a little bit of interest. Again, I think that's ray number 5. Another male, bit of a darker fish this one. That was quite good that actually, because there's no weed now. And I was able to feel all the lunges he was making. For a split second I did think, could this be Mr. Hounds? Still a nice fish. That was on the crab. And again, another fish taken on that top circle hook as he's grabbed the bait and run with it. So we'll get him unhooked and get him back. Wind's really picked up, tide's starting to flood. I'm going to bring this one in. Well, that last crab bait came back completely untouched, so unless something interesting happens on this cast, I think this might be my last cast. Get cleared up, get on the road and get back home. So we'll see what happens on this one. I've just had a hell of a slack liner. Rod tips has gone right back, lines has gone completely slack. Is ray number 6. I'll tell you what, he gave me a hell of a scrap there. I thought that was going to be a much bigger fish, but there was no doubt about the bite. You remember before when I took the barb off that chinu hook, straight out, no problem at all. Nice fish. Well, that was a pretty windy session, but I'm glad I made the effort to come over. I think I had 5 or 6 thornies, probably up to about 4 poundish, 1 doggie. Weed, as you saw, was a pain at times, but when you're catching fish you don't mind, you just put up with it. So I've got the hour and 3/4 drive back to Newcastle now. I'm hoping I didn't get a speeding ticket. I've enjoyed myself, I hope you have too. As always, thanks for watching. If you've subscribed, thank you, it's appreciated. If you haven't, please do. And we'll see you on the next one. Cheers.